My name is Angela. I am 32 years old, and my heart is completely broken. I never thought that my own family would turn against me, but it happened, and it hurt more than anything in my life. It all started one peaceful evening. We were having dinner at Shane's parents' house. Suddenly, Tori, Shane's younger sister, stood up, pointed her finger at me, and shouted, "You stole my money. You took the $50,000 I saved for my new house." I froze. Everyone turned and looked at me with shock. My mouth opened, but no words came out. I felt like the ground had disappeared under my feet. I finally whispered, "What are you talking about, Tori? I did not take anything." But Tori was not listening. She kept yelling. Her voice was full of hate. "Do not lie. You are the only one who knew where I kept it. You are a thief." I looked at Shane, my husband, my best friend. His eyes were wide with confusion. His parents, his mom and dad, stood up too. His mother said, coldly, "We never trusted you. You are from a poor background. We always knew you married Shane for money." I felt my heart breaking into pieces. Tears rolled down my face. I tried to speak, but they would not stop attacking me with words. Cruel, painful words. I turned to Shane, shaking. I said softly, "Please, tell them you believe me. Please." Shane was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I believe my wife." Everyone gasped. His mother shouted, "Shane, she is lying." But Shane held my hand tightly and looked into my eyes. "No, she is not," he said firmly. I could not stop crying. I had never felt so small, so hated, so broken. That night, we went home. I sat in silence, staring at the wall. I kept asking myself, why would Tori lie? Why does she hate me so much? I had always tried to be kind to her. I helped her with her college work. I supported her when she was heartbroken. I treated her like my own sister. But now, she had destroyed my peace. She had destroyed my name. Shane sat next to me. He held me and said, "I do not understand why she is doing this, but I promise I will find the truth." I looked at him and whispered, "Thank you for believing in me when no one else did." For days, the pain stayed in my heart. Shane's parents blocked my number. They told everyone in the family that I was a thief. I became a stranger to the people I once called family. I could not sleep. I could not eat. I could not even smile. Every time I walked outside, I felt like people were staring, judging, whispering. My name was ruined. My soul was crushed. But in my darkest moment, I still had one light, Shane. He stood by me every single day. He hugged me when I cried. He wiped my tears. He gave me hope. One evening, he looked at me and said, "I have hired a private investigator. I want the truth. I will not rest until your name is clear." I hugged him tightly. My heart still ached, but a small hope was born inside me. This was not over. I would not let lies destroy my life. I would not let hate win. And deep inside, I knew the truth always comes out. Days passed, but the pain in my heart did not. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I could not even smile at myself in the mirror. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard Tori's voice shouting, "You are a thief. You stole from me." Those words cut me like a knife. And worse, I saw Shane's parents looking at me like I was nothing, like I was trash. I started having nightmares. In my dreams, everyone hated me. Everyone called me a liar. I would wake up shaking, sweating, crying. One night, I asked Shane, "Do they really believe I did this?" He looked at me with soft eyes. He held my hand and said, "I do not know what they believe, but I know what I believe. I believe you." That gave me a little strength, but the damage was already deep, very deep. People from the neighborhood started whispering. Friends stopped calling. Even at the grocery store, people stared at me like I was a criminal. I began to lose myself. I stopped going out. I stopped talking. I just sat on the bed, staring into space. I felt like my soul had left me. One morning, Shane sat next to me and said, "Angela, I cannot see you like this. I need you to be strong. For yourself. For us. Please." I looked into his eyes. There were tears. Real, silent tears. And in that moment, something woke up inside me. I wiped my face. I stood up slowly and said, "Then let us fight back. Let us find the truth. I did not steal that money, and I will prove it." Shane nodded. He had already hired a private investigator. His name was Mr. Doyle, a calm, older man with sharp eyes and a gentle voice. He came to our house, sat on the couch, and asked me everything, every detail. "Where were you that day? Who else had access to the money? Did you ever touch it?" I told him everything. I cried a little while talking, but I stayed strong. Mr. Doyle nodded and said, "Sometimes the loudest person is hiding the biggest secret. Let us see what we find." That gave me hope. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe again, but the emotional pain did not go away. I still missed Shane's parents. I still missed feeling like a part of the family. I still cried at night. One day, Shane's mom sent him a message. It said, "We are ashamed of the woman you married." When I read it, my heart shattered again. But Shane just deleted it and said, "I do not care what they say. I only care about you." I hugged him tightly. I whispered, "Thank you for standing beside me when no one else did." Meanwhile, Mr. Doyle kept working. He checked phone records. He checked bank accounts. He even found a camera from the neighbor's security system. Day by day, he started to find little clues. Clues that did not point to me. He found out something shocking. Tori had been hiding her money problems. She was in debt, big debt. She had maxed out her credit cards and was about to lose her car. And then the biggest clue came. Mr. Doyle called us and said, "You need to see this. I found proof, and it changes everything." My hands shook as I held the phone. I looked at Shane. He smiled slightly and said, "Angela, this is it. We are close. The truth is coming." And in that moment, for the first time in weeks, I felt something I had forgotten. Hope. I stood tall. I took a deep breath. I was ready. I was not just fighting to prove my innocence. I was fighting for my name. I was fighting for my dignity. I was fighting for the truth. Mr. Doyle came to our house that evening. He walked in with a folder in his hand and a serious look on his face. "Shane," and I sat down across from him. My heart was pounding. My hands were cold. I whispered, "Please tell us what you found." He opened the folder slowly and showed us a set of printed images. They were screenshots from a bank app, from Tori's phone. Mr. Doyle pointed to the screen and said, This transfer happened exactly 2 days before she reported the money missing. It showed $50,000 being moved into another account, an account not under her name, but one linked to her boyfriend's name. "This is proof," he said. "She moved the money herself." I gasped, my eyes filled with tears, but this time not from pain, from relief. Shane leaned closer. "Can we trace where the money went after that?" Mr. Doyle nodded. "Yes, some of it was used to pay off her credit card bills. The rest went into a joint account with her boyfriend." I covered my mouth. "She did this to me?" I whispered. "She blamed me while hiding her own crime?" Mr. Doyle nodded gently. "Yes, she needed someone to take the blame, and you were the easiest target." I could not believe it. All those cruel words, all those hateful stares, all that silence from Shane's parents. And it was never me. It was her. It was always her. I looked at Shane. His jaw was tight. His hands were clenched. "I trusted her," he said. "She is my sister, but she destroyed my wife's life." There was a moment of silence. Then I asked softly, "What should we do now?" Mr. Doyle replied, "That is your choice. But I suggest you show this to the family. Let them see the truth. They deserve to know what really happened." We agreed. The next morning, Shane called his parents. He told them to come over. They walked in with cold eyes and stiff faces. His mom said, "We are only here because Shane asked, not for her." Those words still hurt, but I stayed silent. Shane handed them the folder and said, "Read everything, and do not say a word until you finish." They read in silence. Minute by minute, their faces changed. Confusion, shock, then shame. Shane's father looked up first and said, quietly, This cannot be real." Shane replied coldly, "It is real. Your daughter did this. Your daughter stole the money, and you blamed my wife." His mother sat down. She was shaking. We are so sorry," she whispered. "We were wrong. We judged you without proof." I looked at her. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to ask, "Why did you never believe me?" But instead, I just said, "Your words broke me, but the truth saved me." They left quietly. No more yelling. No more blame. Just silence. Later that evening, Tori called. She knew the truth was out. She did not apologize. She just said, "I had no choice. I was drowning in debt." I replied calmly, "You chose to destroy someone innocent. That was your choice." And then I blocked her number. That night, I stood in front of the mirror again. And this time, I smiled. A soft, tired, but proud smile. Because I knew I was not a thief. I was not a liar. I was not broken. I was a woman who had been betrayed, blamed, and broken, but I fought back, and I won. Shane could not wait any longer. He called his parents, his sister Tori, and Mike, the man she married. "Everyone needs to be here," he said firmly. "It is time we face the truth." That evening, the living room was filled with tension. Nobody spoke, not a word. You could feel the air getting heavier by the second. Tori looked smug, arms crossed. Mike leaned back on the couch like nothing was wrong. Shane stood in the center, holding the folder of evidence. He looked straight at his parents and said, "You blamed my wife. You doubted her. Now look at this." He handed them the printed documents. The bank screenshots, the transfer details, the final report from Mr. Doyle, and, most importantly, a copy of Mike's criminal record. His father's hands trembled as he turned the pages. His mother gasped. Mike was arrested before? For fraud. Mike's eyes widened. He turned red. Tori frowned. What is this? Why are you digging into my husband's past? Shane looked at her and said, because your husband helped you move the money, and because you lied. Tori stood up. This is nonsense. You're just trying to embarrass me. Shane did not back down. Then explain the transfer. Explain why the money went into an account linked to Mike. Explain why you said nothing about it when we asked. Mike stayed silent. Tori turned to him, eyes burning. Tell them it's not true. Tell them you didn't do anything. But Mike could not speak. He looked down at the floor. Guilty. Tori's face twisted in horror. You promised me. You said no one would ever find out. Mike finally spoke. I had debts. Tori, we needed the money. You said your family would never suspect you. Silence fell across the room. Everyone's eyes were on Tori. Her parents looked crushed, ashamed. Her mother whispered, how could you? After all that, you still let us blame her. Tori backed away slowly. Tears filled her eyes, but not the kind you cry for others. They were tears of fear, of exposure, of guilt. I trusted you, she said to Mike. I gave up everything for you. He shrugged. I never told you to frame your sister-in-law. He replied coldly. That was it. That moment shattered whatever trust she had left. Tori turned to us, her voice shaking. I made a mistake. I should not have done it, but I never thought it would go this far. I looked at her, this woman who had crushed my dignity and reputation, and said softly, you let me suffer while you smiled in my face. She could not meet my eyes. With one final glance at her parents, Tori stormed out of the house. No more excuses. No more lies. She was exposed. A few days later, Shane received a message. Tori had filed for divorce. The truth had broken her marriage, not because someone ruined it, but because it was never built on truth. As for Shane's parents, they apologized again, not with just words this time, but actions. They began visiting us more, helping around the house, calling me daughter again, but now with honesty. The damage was not forgotten, but healing had begun. I sat in bed that night, watching Shane read the last page of the report. He closed the folder and held my hand. We made it through, he said quietly, and I smiled, because finally I felt heard. I felt seen, not as a suspect, not as a stranger, but as a woman who stood tall and faced the storm without breaking. Weeks passed. The air in the house felt different now. There were no more whispers behind my back. No more cold stares from Shane's family. The anger was gone, but so was the trust. Shane and I spent hours talking about everything, about the pain, the betrayal, the endless nights I stayed awake, wondering how I could clear my name. I should have protected you more, Shane said one evening as we sat on the porch, the cool breeze brushing against us. I let my family hurt you. I should have stood up for you sooner. I squeezed his hand. You did the best you could. I know you never meant for any of this to happen, but we made it. Together. He smiled, but I saw the guilt in his eyes. It wasn't easy for him to accept the truth about his own family, but it was the truth. You were strong, he whispered, stronger than I ever knew. We both stared at the sunset. I thought about everything we'd been through, the lies, the accusations, the painful moments when I felt completely alone. But now that pain was fading. We were rebuilding our trust, our bond. Shane and I had become closer, not just as a couple, but as friends. We listened to each other more. We spoke honestly. We were not afraid to express our fears anymore. Life felt different, better, but there was still something missing. And then, one day, I heard from Shane's parents. It was unexpected. "We want to meet," his mother's voice said on the phone. "To talk, to make things right." I didn't know what to expect. After all that had happened, part of me felt nervous. Could they ever truly make things right? Could we ever move past everything? But Shane and I agreed. It was worth trying. It was worth giving them a chance to show they were sorry. We met at the family house. I stood at the door, my heart racing, but Shane held my hand, squeezing it, reassuring me. "Whatever happens, we're in this together." When we walked in, his parents were sitting at the dining table. They both looked tired. They looked sorry. His mother stood up and spoke first, her voice trembling. "I never should have doubted you. I should have trusted my son's choice of wife. You are a good woman. I see that now. And I'm so sorry for the way we treated you." Her words hit me deep. Tears welled up in my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. I never wanted to cause any problems. I just wanted to be part of this family. But it hurt when you believed everything but me. Shane's father nodded. "We were blind. We were wrong. Tora misled us. And we let her break what was never hers to break." I looked at Shane. He was standing beside me, strong and sure. His parents got up, walked over, and hugged me. "Can you forgive us?" I hesitated. It wasn't easy to forgive them. I had to think of all the moments I spent crying, thinking no one believed me. But in that moment, I felt something inside me shift. It wasn't about forgetting what happened. It was about moving forward. For Shane, for me, for our future. "Yes," I whispered. "I forgive you." The relief I felt was like a weight lifting from my chest. It wasn't a perfect fix, but it was a start. The rest of the evening was quiet. We ate dinner together. We laughed, even though it felt a little awkward. But I knew deep down it was the first step to healing. That night, as Shane and I lay in bed, he wrapped his arms around me. I felt safe. I felt at home. "We made it through this," he whispered, kissing my forehead. "We've been through hell, but we're still standing." I smiled, my heart full of hope for the future. "Together," I whispered back. And we were.